Okay, Bryson Day, here is your video clips. Here are your video clips from the practice meet this past Saturday in Olympic order. We're starting on floor. Bryson, I thought you had pretty good meet.
Bryson!
Good stretch up to your lunge, good step handstand, good power hurdle, cartwheel, cartwheel. That can be improved a little bit. We'll talk about details when we look at the slow motion.
Come on, Bryson.
We're still jumping. We don't want to jump on this, big guy. Level 4, you're not allowed to jump. You either do a press headstand or you do a press handstand. Good tuck jump. Okay, pretty good round up back handspring. So let's stop here and let's go back and look at that and talk about each little aspect. We're going slow-mo here. So there's your stand at attention and your step to your lunge. That looks good. Your arms, I would like to see your arms out a little bit at this point instead of straight up over your head, but that's certainly an improvement over what we had before where your hands were kind of one forward and one backward. So here is your step to your handstand. Okay, and this I would like to see improve. You are reaching down with your hands and your foot's still on the floor, your back foot. Okay, but if your hands are making that line, imagine a straight line pointing away from your fingertips through your shoulders. That's where your back foot should be. Okay, and it's not there. You're doing a little bit of a dish rack here instead of a broomstick. And even worse here, okay? The hands are almost to the floor and your foot is still down, okay? We want that front knee to be bent, but we want the rest of the body to be straight, okay? And rotating to the handstand. Here, it looks pretty good. Now you have a straight line, but I'd like to see that straight line go from your back foot through your hands all the way to the handstand, okay? Good handstand here. Head position is good. Legs are together. Arms are straight on the roll. Arms are still straight. Okay, you're starting to pull your knees into your chest here. I'd like to see you reaching out a little bit longer with your feet so you have more power. That's one reason you're slow to stand up here. Power hurdle, you're leaning forward, which is good. You're reaching forward, good extension here. This looks really good. Step to your cartwheel, good extension on the cartwheels. Okay, here as your foot touches down, your hand should be above your body. If you'll look at Jonathan's video, there's a still image that's shown in his on-floor exercise that shows you what I'm talking about. As your foot touches the ground, you should be standing up here, not bent over with your hands down. Okay, so that's got to be improved. Here, you've got your hands up, but you're not really at a full stand yet. You still haven't gotten there, but you're already going into your backward row. Okay, we got to see if we can improve that a little bit. Here you're sitting forward with your shoulders. I'd like you to see a candle position, hollow in the chest, and leaning back instead of bent at your waist. Okay, you're sitting down and you're going to like plop right here, and that's going to kill your backward power right there. See, if your shoulders were leaning back and your body was hollow from your hips to your shoulders here, you'd be able to maintain some backward power. That's one reason you're running out of gas here on the back row extension. Okay, we're bending our knees here. Your feet are a little bit flat, probably a tenth. Arm position looks pretty good for the backward row. You're going up now, but your arms are bent. We want straight arms on the backward row extension. That sit back would improve this greatly. Arching, your feet are a little flat here also. Okay. And by the time your arms extend, you're past the handstand. We want to go do that backward roll right up into the handstand. Okay? And then drop to your front support. Arch support with the head back. That looks good. Straddle stand. Okay? My comment on this is that, we don't want to jump to the press handstand. You're not allowed to do a jump. You either have to do a press headstand or we have to do a press handstand. Okay? The jump is not going to get you any value. At this point, Bryson, I just want to ask, are you doing presses or working on your presses outside of the gym? When I was, I started gymnastics late, so I really had to work really, really, really hard, a lot out of the gym. And I used to practice or try to do 10 presses every morning. And if you would do that or do some inchworms every morning, like we do across the Florex mat, forward and backwards, it would really help your strength in your shoulders and in your core for your press handstand. And you would have this. Okay, we should have this by now. Okay, you're losing your compression. You're leaning forward, your head is up. See, those thighs ought to be close to your armpits when you lean forward. Instead, you're just letting your body open up, The angle in your hips is increasing instead of decreasing as you're leaning towards your hands. Okay, and then you're jumping off your feet. Feet are flat. We want those pointed. Okay, that's going to be a 5/10 deduction there for coming back down. Okay, it needs to be a press that comes off the floor and goes up. If it comes up and down like that, that counts as either a major break or a fall. Okay, and they'll probably just give you the major break, the 5/10 deduction. Okay, then you jumped up, and so that's not a press handstand. That's eliminating a required element, which is going to be a 1.0 deduction. Okay, good handstand. Once you got there, the handstand's beautiful. Nice extension in the shoulders, good line, but that needs to be a press. Good roll. Good tuck jump. Okay, feet slightly separated there. Maybe a 10th deduction. Good extension here. And then this looked terrific. Your run to your round off back handspring is really improved. You're starting to really turn that round off over well. Let's take a look at it. Good hurdle step. Round off. We've got to get those feet together. Let's see if they land at the same time. Not quite. Okay. And your chest is down a little bit here. I thought you'd done a little bit better on this round off. You have in the past in practice. I want you to push off the floor like you push off of that mat. When we take that folded up mat and throw it out there and you guys have to do your round off across it. Okay, we want to land in that power position when your feet touch. Okay, your chest is down a little bit here. Okay, so you're having to wait, but you're pulling off pretty good back handspring out of it. Rebound looks good. Okay, and a good stick. Okay, so pretty good floor. Let's go ahead and go back to regular speed and look at mushroom. So here's your mushroom routine. Feint and circle, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a half circle with a quarter turn. Okay, so as I said, that was 6 circles. You're only supposed to do 5, so that's adding a part. I'm not sure exactly what they would do in that case. I think it's a 3/10 or a 5/10 deduction for adding circles, okay, unless they're permitted. I'll have to look at that, but let's look at your form and see what that looked like on these circles. I was pretty pleased with this, Bryson. Your pommels or your mushroom has really improved. This is really good extension and good form right here. Okay. This is typically as you pick up your second hand where guys bend their knees and lose a lot of points, and that looks pretty good. That's pretty clean. Again, clean, maybe 1/10 right there where your feet are apart. Clean again. Clean again. Clean again. Clean again. Maybe a 1/10. Oh, little hop on the dismount, so you lost your stick there. Peg leg. We don't want to land with your stiff legs. You got to bend those knees and keep your chest up. Okay. then you won't have that hop and you'll get a stick bonus. Instead, you lost your stick bonus here, okay? But pretty good mushroom. That was, the full bonus. You had as much as you could have gotten if you'd done your stick on your dismount. So I'm pretty pleased with that. Let's go ahead and start working on the half spindle and the flares so that you're ready to make that transition to level 5 when we can, Bryson, okay? Because this is looking really good, okay? Let's go ahead and go back to regular speed. We'll look at rings. Good form getting up. Good pull up to a terrific position and a good hold. Excellent L sit. A little higher would be good, and a little longer hold would be good. There's second swing, third swing, inverted hang. Good inverted hang. Ooh, feet are separating there. Good pike inverted hang. That's a terrific pike inverted hang. Let's see that back lever. Went up a little bit. Okay, no back lever. See that German hang. 1001, 1002. Okay, not a bad set. Okay, let's go back and look at the swing details and talk about them a little bit. By and large, that routine looks pretty darn good though, Bryson. Speed through here. Pull up looks terrific. You got P-bar hand position. And as I said, you held this. Your head is up, chest is up, body's straight. It looks terrific. Ease it down a little bit more gently if you can. Okay, the L-sit position here is good. Could be slightly higher. Your feet should be slightly above your hips. Yours are right there. And you did hold it long enough, I believe. And then on your backswing, let's see where it goes to. Here's your backswing. Okay, that's as high as you get. And this red beam is vertical, okay? Let's look at a 45-degree angle from your shoulder through your heels, okay? If you hit the 45-degree angle from your shoulder out this way, then you've met the minimum requirement and you're there, okay? So that looks pretty darn good. Okay, let's look at the forward swing. Okay, forward swing's not quite getting to horizontal. Okay, horizontal would be with your feet as high as your shoulders. Okay, but that's pretty nice and extended, and you're pulling outward on the rings, but your hands are not in the right position here. Your palms should be facing each other when you swing in front, Bryson. You've got them turned out. We don't want them turned out there. We want them turned in on the front swing and out on the back swing. Okay, this is where they should be turned out. Okay, this swing, your heels are almost as high as your shoulders, so that's almost horizontal. If you get to horizontal, you get virtuosity. Looks to me like your feet are slightly separated, so you're losing a tenth there. Let's look at that front swing again. Okay, this is better arm position. Okay, on your pull now, you've got more high bar hands, like an overgrip position. So your hands are almost, your palms are almost facing each other here. This is better. Okay. Little arch in your back there. We want to be hollow, and you want to show turnover, which means that your feet are higher than your hips, and your hips are higher than your shoulders. We're not quite getting there. Okay, here's your third backswing. Good backswing there. Here's your inverted hang. And I think we've talked about the rest of these things. We need to continue to work on that back lever. At one point, I thought you were getting really close on that. I thought you would have been closer in your attempt at this on Saturday, but maybe you just had an off day. You've been out for a few days and been sick, so that's quite possible. So let's go to our next event, which is vaulting. Just going to let this run on through. Really good tight pike hang there. Good form, good straight knees. Good turnout on your undergrip for the back lever. We need a little more extension there. That looks good. Hold it, hold it. Okay, you need to show that. 2 to 3 seconds, all right? Don't rush getting out of that German hang. Good. All right, so here's your vault. All right, let's back that up and look at that. Slow it down, go to slow-mo. Okay, the vault is a straight jump. You want to show good form on your run, which means that your arms are swinging forward and backward. Your knees are coming upward when you swing forward. You're pushing with your rear leg. Oh, that looks pretty good. You could be pushing a little bit more with that back leg, okay, on each of your legs. You're not really accelerating. It doesn't look like, Bryson. You need to have more power acceleration during your run here. Okay, here's your last step. Okay, that's pretty good. Looks like you're about a body length away from where you're going to land on the board if you land in the proper spot. Okay, let's see if you have an arm drag. Nope, your hands, well, you're doing an arm circle, so that's not too bad. Okay, the arms are back now, and your feet are going to land in front of your hips on the board. Good contact position on the board, and your arms are coming up now. Good. Knees are a little bent. We want to stay nice and extended. You are moving up and down, and that is a straight jump. That looks pretty good. Your arms could be a little higher and nice and straight above your shoulders instead of doing your rocket man position there. Okay, let's look at the landing. Okay, a little stumble there on the landing, so you didn't get the stick on that. But that was not a bad vault, okay? One of the better ones from Saturday. So let's go to parallel bars. Wow, almost a swing handstand there, big guy. That looked pretty good. This also looked pretty good. Didn't quite hold it long enough, though. Almost to the handstand. And your third swing to your drop. All right, so let's back that up. Let's look at each little piece. Okay, in slow-mo. Okay, from your platform here, when you grasp the rails, that's awesome. Okay, this is where you want to be. See how your shoulders are in front of your feet and your hands are well out in front of your shoulders? That's how you want to jump for this mount, the upswing or the upstart mount. Okay, jumping from this position forces you to pull your hips through your hands, and that gives you a good front uprise type action, which is what this skill is all about. Okay, and kind of imagine seeing through Coach Marcus here. Your feet are pretty high here, but your hips are not as high as your shoulders. Okay, if you do a good upstart, you finish in a crab position, which means your feet and your hips are as high or higher than your shoulders. Your feet are there, but your hips are not quite there. Okay, so we're going to curl a little bit more and get those hips as high as your shoulders. Then, as you extend, you should sink in your shoulders. And that looks like you're starting to sink there. That looks pretty good. Your shoulders are up pretty close to your ears. So this is good, okay? And that's one reason why your swing, your heart's over your hands there. That looks good. Your swing is starting to approach the handstand position. Okay, let's see how this goes. Okay, you're changing your body shape here a little bit. We want to keep that body nice and tight and just click those shoulders. Push your hips away from your hands, upward towards the handstand, while you keep your heart over your hands, and you'll be able to get to that handstand, okay? Which would be terrific. There's not going to be too many kids that are going to be able to do the upstart to the swing handstand, so I'm pleased with that. This, your second swing forward, okay, looks pretty darn good. Your hips are almost as high as your shoulders, and your feet are well higher than your shoulders. Now you're straddling. Good extension. You didn't bend your legs. Your toes are pointed. That's really good extension. Here we're going to our straddled L, and it goes even higher here in a moment, if I remember right. Okay, that is approaching the true V-sit position, Bryson. So this is looking really good. I like the head position. Okay, I want you to be able to have that head so that you could look up at your feet if your feet were together, and that looks pretty good. You were a little short with your hold here. But let's look at that one more time, regular speed, and see if I'm right on that. (1001), 1002, okay? Just a little close, okay? We want to be able to hold that for 3 seconds just to make sure they know that you've held it, okay? So let's back that back up. And then let's look at the swings out of this. You want to be able to close your feet together and swing backward. Very few kids are going to be able to swing to a handstand out of that V-sit, okay? But, you know, it is possible. And you had pretty good swing on this, okay? You kind of did a pikey type thing at the end of your swing there. Let's see how we do on a crab here forward. That looks pretty darn good, okay? Your hips are as high as your shoulders that time. Let's see if you're sinking in the shoulders. Looks pretty good. All right, again, you're letting your heart come back behind your hands on this, okay? And look at that body shape, okay? You've got an arch in your back and a pike in your hips instead of being straight. We need to work on that. Forward swing again, okay? Pretty good position. Dipping in the shoulders pretty well, but your heart's well behind your hands on the dismount and no prayer of getting to the handstand. So we need to work that swing hand. Continue to work on it. Have a little more confidence in yourself. I think you're quite capable of doing a swing handstand. If you know how to roll out, you don't have any worries, okay? So I want you to be able to go for that, big guy. You know, that's what Gamba gymnastics is all about, okay? We need to do as well as we are capable of doing. Anything worth doing is worth doing well, right, big guy? All right, so let's look at the high bar set. I was really pleased with your high bar set, Bryson. You swing beautifully, okay? Here we go. You jump to your hang. Good hanging blind. Straining a little bit with that and on a slight form break there, maybe a tenth or two. Cast, good cast. Feet come apart on the hip circle, but good undershoot. There's your second swing. Your legs are staying nice and tight. Big hop. I'd like you to flare those arms like a Superman if you can. Second swing before the dismount and the third swing to the dismount. Okay? That looks pretty darn good. Okay, I was pretty pleased with this routine. Let's back it up a little bit and let's talk about the undershoot in particular because, you know, I think you're capable of doing a free hip circle, which would blow the judge's mind if you did that. This looks good. Your hands are hip width. We want to be able to cast to a handstand here. Cast to the handstand. Okay, you're getting your heels as high as your shoulders, though, and that's going to get you virtuosity. If you can get your heels as high as your shoulders, you get 1/10 bonus. Okay. Here, your arms are staying pretty straight. Your head looks like it's going back. Let's look and see where you are at the bottom. Yep, your head is back, and your feet are separated here slightly. You should be looking up at your hands, and you should have those feet together, and you should be squeezing your rear end right here so that you go around with a nice straight body. Okay, this looks pretty good. See how your feet are at the bottom of the swing now, and your shoulders are at the top. So your body is rotating all the way around. That's a pretty good hip circle, okay? But if you would get upside down with your head neutral and have your hips tight, you'd be able to pull with your shoulders and turn that into a free hip circle, okay? And then show continuous movement into your undershoot here. Feet are separating again slightly. Your head is back again on the undershoot. We want to get upside down looking at the bar, okay, so that you extend, and when you get extended, we want you as high as the bar or higher, okay? You're a little bit below the bar here as you're finally stretching the shoulders out, but, you know, this is not bad. That's almost as high as the bar. And here I think you're pretty close to bar height with the feet and the hips, okay? Let's see that hop. Coming on the next swing, more tap swing, get those feet and hips higher. Here's a release. Okay, we want to see those arms come to the outside if we can. And then we've got 3 swings. 1, 2. Every swing should go higher and higher, Bryson. Okay, you're staying about the same height on every swing, which means you're not doing much of a tap swing. Okay, but it is pretty darn high. Okay, I'm pleased with that, but we can go higher, okay? Every one should be a little bit higher than the last one, okay? All right, so that was your meet. You had a pretty darn good day, I thought, Bryson. I was real pleased with it. I'm real proud of you, buddy.